All right, let's go. Today we're going to be talking about my new book, The Lion's Roar, The Wisdom of Buddhism. And I think you'll like this. Whether you're a Buddhist or just curious about Buddhism and some of the cultures that are around this religion, it's one of the world's top religions. And no doubt many of you have questions about it, about their diet. Do you have to be vegetarian? Well, short answer, no you don't. The Dalai Lama's not vegetarian. Many other types of Buddhists aren't vegetarian. It's only some Buddhists who decide to be like that. But there's all sorts of questions. Sutras, what are they? What kind of sutras can you read? What's the differences? What are the differences between the schools and traditions? Which path is right for you if you wanted to become a Buddhist? What's the difference between Zen, Pure Land? What's the difference between all of these different ideas, including the old 18 schools of tradition that were in India? Anyway, it's a non-fiction book available at Amazon. There's the link for the USA books, but you can buy them anywhere all over the world from Amazon if you check out and search for this title. It's also available for free on Kindle Unlimited. I've tried to keep this book as cheap as possible, so most of the money is actually just going to Amazon, just because I wanted to share these ideas and let everybody know about them. So we're going to be talking about different topics in Buddhism, including Theravada, which is mainly from Southeast Asia, Mahayana, which is your Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Vajrayana, which is your Tibetan Buddhism. Also, we'll talk about different meditation techniques, what are different schools and different forms, things like wall gazing, forest meditation, meditating on different parts of the body, all sorts of things. We'll talk about the different worldviews, like the six worlds, the worlds of the higher worlds and the lower worlds, the different kinds of worlds that exist in tandem to ours, such as the world of animals and the world of hungry ghosts. We'll be talking about reincarnation, and of course, while we talk about philosophy, we'll be talking about the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths, including looking at the way that the different traditions emphasize different parts of them and basically view them a little differently. And we'll go into, the daily life as a Buddhist. How can you apply these things in your life? What do you do and how can you do it? These involve my lessons that I've learned over 30 years of being interested in this topic. I've been a Buddhist for almost a decade now, officially having done the Triple Gem and the 5 precepts, but I've also been very interested in this ever since high school, looking at different philosophies, ever since, watching the old Monkey Magic movies and TV shows. As a kid, I've interested in this sort of topics, and of course, when I was doing martial arts and meditation in my 20s, I was getting involved in this scene as well. So, when you go into these temples, sometimes there's not a lot of information, maybe nothing in English except for please remove your shoes. You're not sure what's going on. There's nobody around. Christianity and other religions are very out there in terms of being a missionary and talking to people about their faith, and that's all great, but Buddhism is a very much wait for you to come and talk to us. And sometimes if you're just new, it can be very frustrating or lonesome or confusing if you are walking into a temple and you're wondering what's going on and what all of these things mean. So we will be talking about temple etiquette and Buddhist culture. There's all sorts of things, archery, tea ceremony, that happens with Buddhism in their culture. There's also, what do you do when you go to a temple, and, how can you avoid offending anyone? Another interesting topic that I got into as I was researching this book is the predictions for the future for Buddhism. There's ideas about Buddhas coming into our lives every so often, and who the future Buddhists will be and what conditions will be for that Buddha to come to reincarnate back into this world, basically. I'm not sure, I'm not trying to push an agenda here with these predictions or, prophecy or whatever you want to say, but I'm just reporting them that you might be interested in finding out what these things are. This goes into the second Buddha in Tibetan law, which is actually in the past, and he was a person that brought Buddhism to Tibet. There are sometimes talks about the 7 Buddhas. So before the Buddha that we know today, there were other Buddhas before that. And as I mentioned before, the future Buddha. So this book is part of a series by Norman Creek Press about world religion and spirituality. It's the first book in this series. There'll be more about other topics, and I hope you'll check it out. This particular book is available in Kindle, as I mentioned, online, and also as a hardcover and a paperback. You can check it out on this link for Australia. I'll put more links in the description. If you do purchase the book or read it, please review it. It really helps me out with, getting it out there so that people will know about it. And if you could review it on like Goodreads or any other sites like that, that would really help me out. Thanks a lot to those people who already have. So check the links down below in the description, and I'll give you lots of information about my other social media as well. It really is difficult to get, information out, and this will really help me by, spreading the word. Thanks a lot for that. And then any merit that I get from this video, this is a bit of a Buddhist idea, is that I dedicate it to the liberation of all sentient beings. May they free themselves from the cycle of samsara. And if you've liked this video, please subscribe to the channel, like, and click on notifications. It really helps me out and keeps, the YouTube algorithm happy.